Good evening, everyone. This is Andrew Ferrero and John Royal. We're joining you somewhat live from the bowels of the Toyota Center. The Aeros tonight with a 2-1 shootout victory over the Texas Stars. They're interstate rivals now from Cedar Park. We're in the Foley Peterson Media Center following the game. Earlier tonight I was kicked out of this room because it was a dressing room for some of the in-game entertainment, so I was not able to write down here during the game. So if I seem a little bit off tonight, it's because I was kicked out.
Well, tell you what, Andrew, why don't we move on to some other stuff? Like, why don't we discuss what we're calling the line, which was Peter Zingoni and the rookies, Cody Allman and Corey McMillan.
Yeah, I mean, my comments on them right now is that was probably the highest energy line tonight. Peter Zingoni did a great job serving those guys, and I think he made the comment that was their first pro game between the two of them, and they team up for the first goal of the game. It was a pretty goal and a hard-working goal. Zingoni takes a pass from McMillan and drives the net. Matt Climby makes a great save on the first shot, and Zingoni says, I just put my head down and keep whacking at it, and it goes in the net, and that's what the kind of goals that the Aeros are going to need this year. What is your thought on Allman and McMillan?
I enjoyed watching them. I think this is the second night in a row where the rookies have been among the best players. I was impressed by Chad Rowell last night.
Exactly.
And the energy that Allman and McMillan brought out tonight, they just seem to have a chemistry together. And Zingoni, and they're just kind of being the veteran presence, and he seemed to pick up off of their energy and go just as strong with them.
Yeah, of the two, McMillan probably had more scoring chances, but Allman was really responsible with the puck. I think the Aeros as a whole were a lot more responsible, and Kevin told us that after the game, that the consistency was there more so than it was last night. And last night they paid for that, being a little inconsistent, especially in the second period.
Let's talk about the goalies tonight's game. We have Matt Climby, former Aero goalie, big hero in the playoffs last year, going against Anton Khudobin, who was a big hero for the Aeros in the playoffs last year.
Right.
And I guess you could say that both guys delivered what they were supposed to do tonight.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Climby's ability to keep the game close when the Aeros had more of the energy. He made several good saves. I know one of the ones that stands out in my mind as far as the saves was Nathan Smith and DeSalvatore hooking up in overtime, where it looked like they tried a tap-in play, and Climby just kicked out a pad and kept the puck to the side and got it in the corner. Obviously the Aeros won the game in the shootout, but tell us about Khudobin. I mean, he was very calm and very confident, it looked like, tonight.
Yes, it looks like there were times last year where you never really for sure what you were going to get with Anton last year. It seems like maybe it was the playoff experience that he had. He just nothing seemed to rattle him tonight, and I think the Aeros should be thankful that they were able to get a victory from Texas, just because they had Cron last night, Climby going tonight, and that's just two tough goalies to score against.
Right. Kevin was saying about Texas, that they're a team that's very fast. They take away a lot of space, and that's what kept the Aeros from getting a lot of quality scoring chances tonight. It also kept them from getting a great deal of power plays to work with. And so when those two things going in Texas' favor, I think the Aeros have to feel very fortunate about getting the shootout win. I thought it was a great goal in the shootout by DeSalvatore. Zingoni had a great move and hits the crossbar. Aeros dominated overtime and shootout tonight, so I know that the 2 points are very deserving. It's just that Texas right now looks like a very good American Hockey League team. And
one thing we've been dealing with is the Aeros have a large roster. And Kevin was telling us after the game that things are going to be whittled down a bit, and they already released some players, but I don't think they were anticipating what's going on with Minnesota tonight, where Cal Clutterbuck and I forget who else.
Peter Sikora.
Yeah, Peter Sikora have left the game with injuries, so we may be losing some of the guys up to Minnesota already.
Right, and Jim Mill before the game told me that released today were John Fornataro, Greg Johnson, I believe his name is. He had a good preseason game, if you remember, when the Aeros hosted San Antonio. And then another kind of a surprising release was Simon Ferguson, who, I asked right away, was it because of his play? And Jim Mill was quick to point out that it had nothing to do with how well he was playing or adjusting. It was more so about the number of veterans that they already have here in Houston. But he did make a quick note. Jim told me that he's got his cell phone number, and if the situation changes like it appears like it will now, Ferguson might be one of the first guys called back and sign another 25-game PTO.
And what was that Jim told you about we had the big roster, we had the big lineup changes for tonight, and what was it that Jim said for the reason?
Oh, yeah. Well, basically, it was like, jokingly, I kind of said, the roster shakeup. Did we get a lot of guys hurt last night? Obviously, I was kidding, and Jim, just kind of snapped back, but in a joking way, just no, we just didn't play that well, and it was good to see. And Kevin said the same thing. We've got guys. There's a lot of internal competition early in the season. This has almost been like a preseason weekend with guys shuffling in and out of the lineup, learning the system on the fly. It's great to see internal competition. Jim Mill was right. They needed to shake things up, and it looked like it paid off for them in their 2-1 win tonight.
And they'll be off. I guess they'll be taking a day or two off to rest, and they'll get back at it next week. And they're back here, Toyota Center, next weekend for Friday and Saturday for 2 with San Antonio, another interstate rival.
Yeah, check out the blog. It's the third intermission.blogspot.com. We'll have some post-game analysis, and Heather will link all the stories from all of the publications up in the next coming days. Check us out. Thanks for watching.